members of their household and circumcise them on the 8th day. So the question is asked, if Abraham was told to do that over 4,000 years ago, why does Daniel have to do it today? And the answer to that is that Abraham was very unique, very special. He was the very first person to believe in the idea and the concept of monotheism. Monotheism is the belief of one God. But Abraham said, you know what? I'm not going to keep this idea to myself. So he went throughout the world at that time to spread this belief. And according to our Torah, you know what he did? He pitched a tent on the major crossroad at that time. Now, if you can envision if tonight someone put up a tent in front of Wrigley Field, you think he's for sure, but that's what he did. And if people would walk by, Abraham would invite them into his tent. And when a Jew invites someone into their house, what's the first thing he says to them? You have to eat. Jews love to eat. And during the course of the meal, he would look at his guest and he would say, you know what, you look intelligent. You look intelligent. But tell me, how can you worship an idol? There's an idol here. There's an idol see. There's an idol think. How can anybody worship idols? So God wanted to reward Abraham. Create a love bond, a sign that would be between God, Abraham, and the future generations. And so for over 4,000 years, even when the Jewish people were in exile, even during the time of the Inquisition, pogroms, or even the Holocaust, even during the Holocaust, the Jewish people always fulfilled the mitzvah, the commandment of ritual circumcision. There are many laws regarding a bris. I'm only going to state two of them because these two can never ever be violated. A bris may never ever take place prior to the 8th day. One is never allowed to do a bris before the 8th day. We try to do it on the 8th day, even if the 8th day would have fallen out on the Shabbat or Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur. But always, our prime concern is the health and welfare of the child. The second law that cannot be violated is a bris must be during daylight hours. One is never permitted to do a bris after sundown. There are 3 stages in a bris. Stage 1 was bringing the baby into the room by the person who brought the baby into the room, who was called the kvatr. I would loosely translate it means like godmother. Then we will take the baby and place the baby on a special chair that I set aside. That chair in Hebrew is called the Kisei Shel Eliyahu Navi, the chair of Elijah, a prophet. You see, Elijah was a very zealous prophet, but he was called protector of children. And many of you are familiar that at Passover we have a cup for Elijah, at Bris we have a chair. And the reason is that one day Elijah was crying out to God and said the Jewish people are not fulfilling the mitzvah of Bris Milah. And you know what God said to Elijah? Go to leave compartment. So I hope he's here, blessing this baby and everyone else. The second stage will be the actual bris. And then we are honored to have with us a member of the family, Rabbi Bernstein from Cleveland, who will bestow upon this young man his name as he celebrates many, many smachot in his lifetime when he's called to the Torah. It is our mitzvah, with you acting as rabbi.
Perhaps. We'll see.
And standing underneath the chuppah at his wedding with you acting
Please
as
God.
rabbi. And God should only give all of you the health, the ability to be at these wonderful occasions together. And so, young man, as we're about to bring you into the Brit Milah, is my hope and prayer that the Kodesh Baruch Hu, God should only bless you, young man, with a long life, that a Kodesh Baruch Hu, God should only bless you with a healthy life, and a Kodesh Baruch Hu, God should only bless you in a world of peace. So without any further ado, we're going to begin.